Oh, good question. Right, so I always kind of got two ages. I kind of think when I was 6, so everything happened when I was 6 years old in my brain, or when I was about 12 or 13. So I think 12 or 13, I always remember the radio being on somewhere. Growing up, we didn't have a car, but whenever I was in the car, I heard the radio there. But I remember it being on in the house. I think my sister had like Radio 1 on quite a few times when I was growing up. And at some point, I kind of listened to Radio 1 and thought, wow, what is that? So that's when it kind of first began in the early 1980s. And now I was fortunate enough to go down to Barry Island and watch a Radio 1 roadshow. And just seeing that, and just seeing the effect that a DJ can have on a crowd. When DJs really aren't playing an instrument, they're not telling jokes, they're just hosting. And I just thought, wow, that's just an amazing thing. So yeah, that's where it kind of began. It began with listening to some sort of radio. Don and Son, I Feel Love is in my head, so I would think that's Radio 2 at some point. But yeah, definitely more Radio 1 back in the early 1980s with people like Gary Davis, Simon Bates, Simon Mayo doing The Breakfast Show. It's just a legendary era, so that's where it kind of began a little bit. Okay, long story, short story, let's go for the long one. So it was a bit of a journey, so from loving Radio 1, kind of finding out that the local hospital had a radio station called Channel 1, so I was the Royal Gwent and ended up there for a little while. That was very much run by a committee. It was very serious and very strong. So I kind of thought probably the best route for me was to take the easy option of asking my headmaster in Lisbury High School whether they could build a school radio station. So we did. So we laid cables, which would just be unheard of these days. Plumbed it all in ourselves, and for 2 years it didn't stop. Unfortunately for me, I kind of forgot to take A-level very seriously at that point because I was too busy doing the school radio. So I had to go to Cross Keys College and try and make up for my mistakes. So I studied the BTEC in Cross Keys, then went to the amazing Falmouth College of Arts in Cornwall, in Falmouth, and it was just 3 amazing years. I did a broadcasting course and just the most amount of fun. Completed that one. When I got a serious job in Cardiff, then went for Legal and General. Still doing little bits of internet radio at that point, but not a lot. And then kind of thinking, right, well, 9 years at Legal and General, it was only supposed to be for 6 months. What am I doing with my life? And I thought, I'm missing out on the thing which I want to do. So I heard something called Urban Circle Radio in 2008, which is about I think it must have been about the March, April time 2008. And I thought this could be something amazing. I'd love to be helping shape it into something for the whole of Newport. And it just made sense where everybody was taking the mickey out of Newport being a city. Why don't we just try and own the title city and put it into the title? So that's where Newport City Radio came into it. So it kind of began, so that's it went from Radio 1 to that bit, but it kind of began in 2008. Loads. So there's the old pop song, Video Killed the Radio Star. Video didn't kill radio, but I think social media is certainly having a little go on. Podcasting definitely is right now. I'm going to give a TED talk in October in Newport, which I'm quite excited about. Apparently it's very serious. Well, I'm going to go into a lot more detail on it, so if you'd like to know a bit more about all this sort of stuff, then check me out in October at the TED Talks. But to answer the question, it's more visual. So radio is an audio medium, you switch it on, you listen to it. It's more portable and it's more switchable. So back in the days you'd have a car stereo and dangerously you'd have to manually retune it. Now you've just got push buttons, so if you don't like the current song that's playing, you just press a button, you're over to the next radio station. You know, on my steering wheel I can just hit a button on my steering wheel, which is great for a radio listener, but for a radio programmer it's a nightmare. But it's also got more exciting because radio has done what it's best at doing, and it takes social media, makes it part of its offering. Podcasts again is great because you're going to take something that you're already doing and maybe make a special version of it, or make something completely different to what you would normally think of in radio. So I'm never worried about radio changing. It is changing and it always will change. You should never worry about it, but you've got to be ahead of it. You've got to be moving with it, otherwise it'll leave you behind. Great question. So if you're looking to get a career in anything to do with media, I think in life really, by all means, if you're academic, go the academic route. Either way, get experience. So I know that people have got studies, I know they've got courses, I know they've got coursework and exams, but if you find something like Newport City Radio, we're really flexible around that, and the experience that you will get by actually doing it rather than actually reading about it is invaluable. The more times you make a radio show, the more times you write a blog, the more times you do a podcast, the more times that you film something, like we're doing today, the better you're going to get and the more you're going to learn. So by all means, yes, take the educational route if you can and if you want to, but doing something like this, filming something and doing it loads and in different ways with different people is absolutely valuable. So try and get the balance right between education and actually doing stuff. Okay, so we're in a massive period of change at the moment, probably our biggest change in 10 years. We're currently moving buildings, so that's been an ongoing process since January 2019 through until it's going to be probably about July, till we get to our 11th birthday. It's still the same for me. I would love to see Newport City Radio in your cars on the proper radio rather than just the internet. It's the question I get asked the most: how do I tune in? How do I get on my radio? And it's so frustrating after 10 years I can't tell them how to do it, because you can't. It's lovely in a way because you just got to click a button and go on the internet, or you can download the tuning app. But I would love Newport City Radio to be a broadcast radio station. That was the dream 10 years ago. Technology will decide how we do that, but it's always the ambition and always what I'd love to see Newport City Radio do. We need to do more stuff around podcasts. We need to do some more stuff around making films like we're doing right here. But the fundamental part of it doesn't change. I want to give people of all ages, all backgrounds, all abilities, living, playing, doing whatever they do in Newport, the opportunity to come and be part of it, because it's not my radio station, it's not my radio project, it's yours. So you've got to come and grab a piece of it, grab a part of it. And Newport City Radio will always change on the basis of what volunteers we've got at any given time. So that's always exciting. So even though we try and keep the radio product moving on, sometimes we'll do more events, sometimes we'll do more filming, sometimes we'll do more blog writing, and that's perfectly natural. And, I've got used to that now. But it's, I'd love to see Newport City Radio still being here to give new people the opportunity that probably 1,000 people in Newport have had already. Mind blowing. Is that two?
I don't know.
Well, check the dictionary.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I have mind blowing?
I think we'll go with mind blowing, yes.
Mind blowing.